Hello and welcome to Kashmir Now. I'm your host Lipakshi. Let's take a look at some stories of this week's episode. Activists from GB and POK slam Pakistan for its atrocious attitude during the 49th session of UNHRC. Gilgit Pakistan activists lambast Imran Khan's party for exploiting resources, marginalizing locals. District Hospital JLNM Srinagar gets NBE nod in 3 specialities. Centre unveils rupees 34,829 crores potential linked credit plan of NABARD for Jammu and Kashmir. And later in a section of Incredible India, we'll take you to the northeastern state of Manipur to witness the colourful celebrations of Yaoshang festival. Pakistan again faced a backlash at the international platform when its duplicity regarding the illegally occupied Gilgit Baltistan and POK was exposed. At an event held on the sidelines of 49th session of United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva, Pakistan was strongly condemned by the intellectuals and human rights activists from different parts of the world for committing human rights violations in its illegally occupied territories. We have a report.
The atrocities being committed by Pakistan on the people of illegally occupied territories were recently highlighted at the international conference organized by Jammu Kashmir International People's Alliance. Held on the sidelines of 49th session of UNHRC, the event was not just attended by the activists from Gilgit Baltistan and POK, but also from other parts of the world. They discussed how the Kashmiris in Pakistan-occupied territories don't enjoy fundamental rights at par with the people of Pakistan, and that their freedom of expression is muzzled with brute high-handedness. While expressing her point, Una Garg, a human rights lawyer from Ireland, stressed on how the Kashmiris are kept devoid of the right to self-determination, which is a basic human right.
To give you an example of what's taking place there is an interim constitution which goes back to 1974. It has been described, in fact, by a well-known Supreme Court lawyer called Shamsad Hussain, who has described it as a complete sham and that it is a very biased document. For example, if you want to get a job in Pakistan-controlled Kashmir, a government job, you have to express loyalty to the state of Pakistan. In other words, to the concept that Kashmiris can only accede to Pakistan in the event of a plebiscite, and this includes members of the judiciary. And in that regard, people have to swear an oath of loyalty. This, of course, abrogates their right to self-determination, which, as you know, is a basic human right, and in particular the people of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir have never had the opportunity to exercise their right to self-determination. This is a fundamental right to which they are entitled under the Charter of the UN. It is their birthright, and it is my greatest wish and desire to see them have the opportunity to exercise that right.
Alongside the conference, a demonstration was also held by the activists of United Kashmir People's National Party in front of the United Nations office. They shouted slogans calling Pakistan to stop land grabbing, extrajudicial killings, and dismantle the terror camps in the occupied region.
Pakistan made pledges with international community that she will withdraw from Pakistani occupied Kashmir, which was illegally occupied by Pakistan. But she did not comply with the UN resolution on Kashmir, and we are forcibly divided since 1947. We are here to raise our voice, to draw attention of the United Nations and international community towards the abductions, killings, extrajudicial killing, and exploitation of the natural resources in our area.
Due to poor representation, little access to the courts of law, compounded with state suppressive policies, people of Gilgit Baltistan and POK have been denied justice for more than 7 decades. And with no light at the end of the tunnel, the future doesn't seem to be evolving into anything better.
Moving on, people in the illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan are constantly complaining about the atrocities they are being subjected to by Pakistan and appointees in the region. From healthcare to infrastructure, every sector of Gilgit-Baltistan has been deliberately kept deprived of any development. Activists say the promises made before the polls never see the light of the day, and the administrators use intimidation, coercion and outright brutality when they're faced with people's questions and demands.
The illegally occupied region of Gilgit-Baltistan is grappling with a number of socio-economic and political issues, and their consistently deteriorating state has rung alarm bells for people and organizations around the world. And while the current human rights situation of the region has gathered some traction in the international community lately, the indigenous people say even a tenth of reality has not been able to make its way to the global bodies. Locals accuse the government of exploiting their land and resources indiscriminately while not giving a dime of the profit to them. From roads to health infrastructure, every sector the government has control over is in shambles. They say the claims that government makes are not only false but are particularly aimed at misleading the observers who keep a distant watch on the region's activities.
ये डोंग है जिस तरह 1 करोड़ नौकरियां थी, 50 लाख घर था, मदनी की रियासत था, तब्दीली था और महंगाई का खात्मा था, नया पाकिस्तान था, तो करप्शन का खात्मा था। ये उस तरह का एक नारा है जो डोंग हुआ है, जो बुरी तरह फुलाब हुआ है, वो जो बुरी तरह झूठा साबित हुआ है। इसी तरह ये हेल्थ कार्ड भी एक झूठा प्रोपेगेंडा है, लोगों को बेवकूफ़ बनाया जा रहा है, किसी को कोई इलाज नहीं हो रहा है। तो इंशाअल्लाह अज़ीज़ इन्होंने कोई काम हेल्थ सेक्टर पर नहीं किए, अस्पतालें वीरान है, वहाँ सिरिंज तक नहीं मिल रही है। अगर मुझे 10 लाख के सेहत कार्ड देने के बजाय उस 10 लाख से DHQ अस्पताल गाकूच गजर को फंक्शन कर रहे तो और भी मरीज वहां आकर फैजियाब हो सकते हैं।
While Pakistan has been witnessing economic challenges owing to its incompetent policies, the Gilgit-Baltistan region, which is already marginalized, has been subjected to years of state-sponsored schemes that have further trampled upon people's lifestyles. Locals accuse that the economic losses faced by Pakistan due to policy paralysis are compensated from the illegally occupied territory of Gilgit-Baltistan, while they are left in the lurch by the state. Imran Khan, they say, promised the world to them but never did anything to get them materialized when his party came to power. All he did, they say, is plundering of people's resources.
उनके पास नारे, दावे और तकरीर करने के अलावा, लोगों को बेवकूफ़ बनाने के अलावा कोई एक भी स्कीम नहीं है। तो ये डोंग है, आवाम को बेवकूफ़ बना रहे हैं। रोड उन्होंने देने का दावा किया है, टेंडर पे किया है, कागज़ी प्रोसेस भी हुआ है, लेकिन आवाम के जो मुश्किलात है, जो मसाइल हैं, वो इस रोड से कई गुना ज़्यादा मसाइल का शिकार है। तो आवाम इस वक्त बेयार और मददगार पड़े हुए हैं, उनकी ज़मीनें मुफ्त नीलाम किया जा रहा है, उनके रुकबे ज़्यादा उठाया जा रहा है। वो हमने मोटरवे में भी नहीं देखा कि 165 फुट की चौड़ाई। तो लिहाजा ये आवाम के ज़मीनों पे ढाका डालने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। तो
While the region of Gilgit-Baltistan requires an urgent holistic development plan, the leaders have been wallowing in the luxury they have acquired by plundering the resources and denying people their share of happiness and prosperity. Anyone who has dared to demand the rights has been subjected to intimidation and false implications. And with no light appearing at the end of the tunnel in the current scenario, people seem to have no choice but to come to terms with everyday exploitation, discrimination and atrocity of Pakistan.
And next we move on to Jammu and Kashmir, where consistent efforts are being made by the authorities to improve the healthcare services, especially at primary and secondary care hospitals. As a result of these endeavours, District Hospital GLNM Srinagar gets NBE nod in 3 specialities. This achievement of the hospital will not just help in producing more qualified doctors, but contribute in better patient care delivery as well. Have a look.
The National Board of Examinations, or NBE, has given the accreditation to the DNB, or the Diploma of National Board courses in specialities like anesthesia, ophthalmology and pediatrics to Jawaharlal Nehru Memorial, or JLNM Hospital in Srinagar. It has come up as a moment to rejoice, especially for the PG medical aspirants in Jammu and Kashmir, as NBE programs will provide them an opportunity to upgrade their skills. Moreover, this accomplishment by the hospital will not just lead to upgradation of its medical infrastructure, but also recruitment of more staff and specialist doctors under whose guidance the PG students will be trained. JLNM has already got accreditation in medicine last year, and now with 3 more specialities added to the list, it will help in improving the patient care.
इससे हमें ये फ़ायदा हुआ कि हमारे हॉस्पिटल में पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट स्टूडेंट्स आएंगे. हॉस्पिटल अदरवाइज भी 24/7 फंक्शन कर रहा था, लेकिन हमें जैसे आपको पता है कि शाम को 4 बजे के बाद हॉस्पिटल में उतने डॉक्टर्स अवेलेबल नहीं मिलते थे. तो लेकिन अब जबकि ये पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट इंस्टीट्यूट बन गया, तो यहाँ पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट स्टूडेंट्स 24/7 अवेलेबल रहेंगे अलॉन्ग विद आवर डॉक्टर्स. और इससे हमको एक और फ़ायदा भी मिला कि जिन जिन डिपार्टमेंट्स में हमको NBE एक्रेडिटेशन मिल गई, NBE के नॉर्म्स के तहत अब हमको NHM में इन हर एक डिपार्टमेंट में 2-2 सीनियर रेजिडेंट्स भी मिलेंगे. तो और ऐड हुआ मैन पावर. वैसे भी बिकॉज ऑफ कोविड, वर्ल्ड बैंक के थ्रू और दूसरे प्रोजेक्ट्स के थ्रू हमको काफ़ी सारा इक्विपमेंट हॉस्पिटल में आया है. मतलब जो हमें कभी सोचा भी नहीं था कि इस लेवल का इक्विपमेंट डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल हॉस्पिटल्स में या इवन इस एपेक्स हॉस्पिटल में आए. तो उस हिसाब से हॉस्पिटल में काफ़ी अपग्रेडेशन भी हुई है. और प्लस पॉइंट ये हुआ कि हमारा पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट कोर्सेज स्टार्ट हो गए, तो इससे पेशेंट केयर बहुत ज़्यादा इम्प्रूव हो जाएगा.
In Jammu and Kashmir, DNB courses have also been introduced in the district hospitals and new government medical colleges, besides old government medical colleges and SKIMS or Sher-e Kashmir Institute of Medical Sciences. The motive is to strengthen the institutions, decongest the government medical colleges and address the shortage of specialists in the Union Territory. While District Hospital Udhampur has been accredited in the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, GMC Anantnag has been given accreditation in the Department of Psychiatry, ENT and Medicine. Similarly, GMC Kathua has been accredited in the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology and GMC Rajouri in the Department of Anesthesia. Sub-District Hospital Kupwara and District Hospital Kulgam have also managed to get accreditation in general surgery from the National Board of Examinations. While talking about the future endeavours, the Director of Health Services Kashmir said that all our district hospitals have applied for NBE accreditation, which will further lead to setting up of tertiary level healthcare system at district level.
आगे हमने हर एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल के लिए अप्लाई किया हुआ है और इंशाल्लाह मुझे लगता है कि विद इन नियर फ्यूचर आप हर एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल को पाओगे कि ये एक एकेडमिक हब बनेगा, ये एक ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूशंस बनेंगे, एज गुड एज मेडिकल कॉलेजेस बनेंगे। इससे हमारा हेल्थ सिस्टम कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँचेगा इसका अंदाज़ा भी किसी को नहीं होगा, लेकिन हमें तो है एक टर्शरी लेवल ऑफ सिस्टम हर एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट में स्टार्ट होगा।
ये जो एक्रेडिटेशन है थ्रू NBEMS जो हमें DNB फेलोशिप और डिग्री कोर्सेज दे रहे हैं, ये बहुत बड़ी एक अचीवमेंट और माइलस्टोन है हमारे पेरिफेरल हेल्थ केयर सर्विसेज के लिए। जो हमारे एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स ACS साहब, हमारे डायरेक्टर साहब और हमारी लोकल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन जो अपग्रेड करना चाहते थे और जो अपग्रेड कर रहे हैं, उसमें ये सीटें मिलना और ये एक्रेडिटेशन मिलने से हमारा पेशेंट केयर, हमारा एकेडमिक्स और हमारा जो अप टू डेट नॉलेज है और नॉलेज शेयरिंग है, ताकि हम compete कर सकें विद द रेस्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, वो एनहांस हो जाए।
As NBE programs are regarded as the cornerstones for the upgradation of healthcare services, in the coming time, Jammu and Kashmir will not just be producing more qualified doctors, but will also overcome the shortage of specialist doctors at peripheries.
Well, after 2 years of the pandemic, Jammu and Kashmir's economy is back on its track, with authorities taking continuous steps to inject money in different sectors and provide more employment opportunities to the citizens. Growth in the economy of the territory is being projected. Recently, the NABARD, or National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, has announced a credit plan of 34,830 crore rupees for Jammu and Kashmir in order to give a push to employment generation in the territory. Take a look.
Abundant with natural resources, Jammu and Kashmir's economy is booming due to the wide variety of commerce and career options that the territory offers. Authorities in the region keep on taking a number of steps to improve employment generation in the territory and promote entrepreneurship in the region. The National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, or NABARD, is one such centrally sponsored scheme that provides credit to rural entrepreneurs and self-help groups for encouraging them to set up their own small businesses and units. Under it, the centre has decided to give out credit worth rupees 34,830 crores to different sectors in the region, thus giving a push to employment generation.
इस बार का जो हमने क्रेडिट प्रोजेक्शन 2022-23 के लिए रहेगा, ये नेक्स्ट ईयर के लिए, जो करीब 34,830 करोड़ रुपया हमने बनाया है। इस प्रोजेक्शन में जितने भी प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर के सेक्टर्स रहते हैं उनके लिए ये प्रोजेक्शन है, जिसमें सबसे जो मुख्यतः है वो है एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर। तो एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर रहेगा, करीब 56% जो प्रोजेक्शन है वो एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर के लिए रहेगा। उसके बाद MSME के लिए रहेगा, हाउसिंग है, रूरल हाउसिंग है, एजुकेशन है, और इस तरह के जो बाकी छोटे छोटे सेक्टर हैं, एक्सपोर्ट है, इन सब को मिल मिला के ये 34,830 करोड़ का प्रोजेक्शन है। ये प्रोजेक्शन लगभग पिछले साल के मुकाबले उतना ही है जितना पिछले साल था, लेकिन यदि हम इसको इस परिप्रेक्ष्य में देखें कि इस बार जो स्केल ऑफ फाइनेंस है डिफरेंट क्रॉप्स के लिए उसको कम किया गया है, तो उस चीज़ को यदि हम देखें तो ये बढ़ा हुआ माना जाएगा।
The credit plan was unveiled by Lieutenant Governor of the territory Manoj Sinha in an event. This year, more than 50% of the credit projection has been done for the primary agricultural activities. The total estimated credit potential is rupees 34,830 crores for the year 2022-2023, which has been divided between 8 sub-sectors. Rupees 19,456 crores have been allocated to primary agricultural activities. Rupees 706.15 crores have been allocated to the food and agro credit sector, and rupees 10,977.21 crores have been allocated to the MSME sector. Focus is also being laid on self-help groups and farmers producers organizations for them to derive benefits from the scheme.
नाबार्ड की तरफ हमें बहुत सपोर्ट मिला क्योंकि मार्केटिंग के आगे लाने के लिए, क्योंकि आम फार्मरों को एक साथ जुड़कर बनाने ग्रुप जो बनाए हमने फार्मरों का, ये 200 प्लस है हमारे सर, तो उनको एक ही प्लेटफार्म ला के और इनको मार्केटिंग के।
NABARD has been a vital driver of the rural economy by meeting the basic needs of infrastructure under the Rural Infrastructure Development Fund. The scheme focuses on meeting the aspirations of rural population, bridging the gaps in rural infrastructure and strengthening the cooperative credit systems to transform the agricultural economy.
And today in a section of Incredible India, we'll take you to the land of festivities, Manipur, where merriment and mirth-making go on round the year. Yaoshang is one of the most important festivals of Manipur that combines both Hindu and indigenous traditions. Recently, it was celebrated with immense fervour across the state.
The state of Manipur got soaked in the festive spirit of joy as it celebrated its most awaited festival of Yaoshang, the 5-day extravaganza that marks the onset of spring. On the first day of the festival, a small hut, also known as Yaoshang, is constructed with bamboos and straws. Inside it, the idol of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the founder of Gauda Vaishnavism, is kept. The devotees keep a number of sweets and candles in front of the hut. As the sun sets, a ritualistic aarti is performed, and after the sweets are distributed among the devotees, the hut, which is regarded as the symbol of good over evil, is burnt. As part of the festival, young boys and girls dressed in traditional attire go from door to door for monetary donations or nakathang. They take special delight in this activity, and the money collected is spent on merrymaking. Music concerts are also organized at various places to celebrate the festival.
Yam luna lawi haibadi karigino haibada khoi ipa ipugi hakatagi lakpanina khoi na hoji heta ira na muthattaba haibasi ju akoi thamoi nungda jaja ningde holi lakpasi akoi hoji thodongna haija ningai di lejate maramdi karigino haibada holi haibasi di akoi ima indon singi ipa ipan singi ya amna nungai raba numini haibasi.
On the second day, groups of local bands travel to the city's Govindji temple while singing devotional hymns accompanied by musical instruments such as dhokals, cymbals and seashells. They converge at the temple to celebrate Pichkari Numit or Pichkari Day. Pichkari is a water gun commonly used to squirt colored water during the festival. After offering special prayers at the temple and performing all the religious rituals, devotees drench each other in colored powders and water, just like the holy festival is celebrated across the country.
It's beautiful to experience Holi like this, such colorful and so rooted to the culture. Women all beautifully dressed up and, you know, giving all importance to the flowers and the colors around. So it's beautiful to see men and women enjoying Holi here in the temple.
Ready, go!
The 5-day sports festival held in every nook and corner of the state is another important aspect of Yaoshang celebration. Many games which are easy to play and fun to watch are conducted either on the local grounds or on roadside to motivate the young ones to participate in various sports activities. This is the most remarkable difference between the Holi festival in Manipur and other parts of the country. Moreover, a grand level event is also organized at a local sports complex in Imphal. On the first day of Yaoshang, children, local clubs and personalities converge at the city's Kangla fort to light their torches and carry the sacred flame to this complex to inaugurate the sports meet. A number of games like cricket, football, volleyball are organized during the event. The primary idea behind Yaoshang Sports Meet is to allow the energetic youth of the state, which is already known as the powerhouse of sports in the country, to hone their skills in different sports.
So basically, our locality, Brahmapur Nahabam, has got a lot of athletes over here, starting from archery, basketball, football, wushu. There are many athletes over here, and this is like a junction over where all the players meet, and it's always one of the best place in Manipur to gather for sports. So the Yaoshang Sports Festival over here is a grand, and everyone in Manipur knows that this place is the hub for Yaoshang Festival.
In modern times, there has been a trend of channeling the festive energy towards sporting event to spot out talent at the grassroots level, and Yaoshang Festival is a great example of it.
Well, that's all we have for you in this week's episode. Till we see you next week, it's goodbye from the entire production team.